Well, hello, everybody. This is Eric Janesco, head coach and CEO of Maximum Acceleration. And hey, I just wanted to send this quick message out to all of you that have registered to attend our Maximum Growth Summit this Friday, the Palms, Las Vegas. Of course, this is in connection with the Mastermind 2013 program. And I wanted to send a couple of these quick reminders out to you. And I know you've received some of these tools and resources from us already. Just want to give you everything you need to make the most of this conference. You know, out of this program, we're bringing to you in a 4.5-hour hands-on summit type program, one of the most condensed, impactful events that we can create for you based on the thousands of hours of research, the thousands of originators we've put through this program over the last 9 years, and all of the information and ideas and strategies we've learned for helping to really create maximum growth for our clients over the years. And we're excited to be there, but there's a couple of things that you can do throughout the 2 days of the Mastermind 2013 event that will help you get more out of the conference as well as more out of our summit on Friday. See, the whole design of this program is that on Friday, we're going to take all those hundreds of ideas that you've gained from the conference, and we're going to help you drill it down into a actionable plan that you're going to be able to execute with all the tools, strategies, and resources you need to be able to create maximum growth and performance throughout the coming year. So one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to challenge you to think a little bigger, and we're going to challenge you to put some pencil to paper and really focus on what it would look like to make the money that you want to make. Now, we all know that sales is a funnel, right? We start with approach, we get to awareness, interest, evaluation, commitment, and closure with a client. So at the end of the day, you know, regardless of how skilled or talented you are at sales, or regardless of how well you do or don't connect with everybody, law of averages will play in your favor. Whatever your numbers look like, whether it's 1 out of 25 or 1 out of 250, at the end of the day, if you look at what you can control, you can whittle it down to what will turn into the volume of business, therefore the income that you want to make on a regular basis. So one of the things that we're going to walk you through is an understanding of how to actually take and transform so that you're in charge of your market and you're in charge of your volume. You're not letting the market control what you do on an income. And it's kind of like breathing. I mean, my good friend and colleague who's also going to be working with you at our Maximum Growth Summit, Rene Rodriguez, taught me how to use this concept called breathing to understand what we can do better in our industry and in our daily practices. You see, at the end of the day, if you went to the doctor and he said, you know, Joe, your blood pressure is out of control, you really need to do something to fix that, and he turned around and walked right back out of the room, you'd be pretty upset, because you wouldn't necessarily know how to control that high blood pressure. So you fire the first doctor, you go to the second one, and he says to you, you know, Joe, this blood pressure thing could be a major issue, or it could just be a function of stress, anxiety, maybe being a little overworked. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take some slow, deep breathing exercises with me. I want you to take a quick 3 in, 3 out, slow, deep breathing, okay? Let's just do this together for just a second. Those of you watching this video, take a few seconds and just do this. You see, already your heart's slowed down, your pace is easier, and you're able to relax a little bit more. See, what the doctor would do is then tell you, you know, Joe, take a few minutes and just continue this deep breathing exercise. I'm going to go check on another patient. I'll be back in just a few minutes to check on you. Lo and behold, the doctor comes back and your blood pressure's right in line. You see, the first issue was we told you to control your breathing. You couldn't really do it. The second doctor told you to do what you could control, which was your breathing, which created the net effect of lowering your blood pressure. So here's what I want to challenge you to do. In preparation for our Maximum Growth Summit, I want you to determine what is the breathing of your daily sales business. We're going to focus on drilling down your volume to a specific set of goals. And one of the tools that's been provided to you, and it's attached again to this message, is our volume and goals worksheet. Now, there's a couple of tabs at the bottom of this Excel spreadsheet, okay? The first two tabs is annual minimum goals and monthly growth focus. And let me walk you through a little bit more detailed instructions about what to do with these tools for just a minute. You see, at the end of the day, if we set the annual minimum goal of what we want our income to be, that tells us what our daily disciplines are. That tells us what our lead generation focus should be every single month throughout the course of the year. So the first tab I want you to focus on based on the income standard minimum you want to set for yourself. What's a comfortable income that you believe is reasonable for you, that's not an overwhelming stretch to what you're doing already. So long story short, if you look at the numbers on the spreadsheet based on the example I've given you, or the starting point that you'll see in the spreadsheet, let's say you're in a market, the average loan amount is $180,000, you're working with a comp plan that pays you 150 basis points, and you want to make $200,000 a year, or what would equate to $18,000 to $20,000 a month, right? Total income. What that drills down to, based on a 50% pull-through from lead to closing, is that you're going to need to do about 3 leads a week. Now, see, that's a real marketable number. That's a number that you can focus on and control and manage, right? If you get to Thursday and you haven't already received 3 leads a week, you can change your activity to go do some short-term follow-up with some past clients, or to go do a little bit more aggressive reach out to some agents to let them know that you're willing to help them over the weekend, or even if you had to just pick up the phone book and cold call renters to talk to them about the incredible housing opportunity. It's not the fanciest way of generating business. It's not the most comfortable or easiest way of doing it. But at the end of the day, if you made 20, 30, 40 phone calls over the course of 3 or 4 hours, Thursday afternoon and Friday, talking to renters about the benefits of potential homeownership, you could find 2 or 3 people reasonably interested in buying a home, right? See, that's a number you can control. That's something that can drive. That is that breathing that I just talked about a minute ago. Now, on the flip side of that, I'm going to ask you to go one step further, though. That's just the budget minimum, is this first tab. The second tab I want you to think about is thinking about getting leads at a much higher level. You see, there's 2 ways you can catch a fish, right? One is, with a rod and reel. Think about if you've ever been out whitewater fishing. It could be a lot of fun. It could be a great way to kill an afternoon, enjoy the sun and fun, and knock down a couple of brews. But the reality is, if you actually do get a fish on the line, there's a whole lot of things that can go wrong that keep the fish in the water instead of in the boat. Which, if you're trying to create a meal for yourself on a more regular basis, that may not be the most reliable way to do it. Would you agree? So what about if you fished with a net instead? Same goal, different strategy, right? If you're talking about regular feeding of a family or a community and poundage of fish over a weekly period, maybe this is a much more reliable method of bringing in a meal. Now, there's going to be some challenges to that. But here's something I want you to think about doing. What about if you took that lead generation or that fishing to a radically larger scale? 8, 10, 15, 200 times the result. What would it look like? What if you fished with a net like what you see on your screen right now? Practical reality is you'd bring in a lot more poundage of fish in a much shorter period of time, right? So if you're talking about not only feeding a family, you're talking about feeding a whole community now. Commercial fishing operation. But there's one trick to that. You can't do it by yourself, can you? So what I want you to think about doing differently this year, and as we gear up for this Maximum Growth Summit and what you're going to learn and experience through the 2 days of the Mastermind program, I want you to now focus on doing something that just seems overwhelmingly, radically, unbelievably bigger volume. So the second tab I want you to focus on is this monthly goals tab. Okay, so this monthly goals tab, I want you to focus on, take it to a radical number, double, quadruple the volume that you're doing or the money that you're making right now, and then work the numbers. And go to the biggest imaginable volume that you, or income that you could imagine making a year from now? What's the target you want to grow towards? See, this is sort of the stretch goal of what we're going to be driving you to go towards as we talk through that growth summit. So here's the thing. Let's say you decided you wanted to double that income. You wanted to go to $40,000 a month in income, and you basically kept your numbers roughly the same. Let's say your even average loan amount dropped a little bit over the course of a year, just shifting from a refi market to a purchase market. At the end of the day, if you work the numbers through, you'd have to go to 8 leads a week. Now, it may seem crazy to try and go from 3 leads a week to 8 leads a week in a year, but here's one other way of thinking about it. What if you just had if over the course of a year you developed 5 referral partners who are worth 1 good lead a week, instead of trying to do 8 leads a week on your own? How hard would it be to develop a group of 5 agents or 5 financial planners or a combination thereof that could be worth a 1 good solid lead referral to you on a weekly basis, and you got a year to do it? How much easier would it be to generate the 8 leads a week that we're talking about in this example? See, it's not rocket science. It's just a matter of working the numbers and focusing on what you want to create. Begin with the end in mind, and then we'll help you figure out how to do it once you have that higher vision. See, there's nothing that's impossible. It's all within your reach. It's just a matter of strategy, resources, and the timely application of both. And that's a lot of what we're going to be walking you through at the Growth Summit. So anyway, that's the tip for this week, and those are the 3 minutes I want you to spend in preparation to the event that I think will help you get a lot more out of the summit, is start looking for those ideas and strategies that can help you create radical growth in the coming year. So I look forward to seeing all of you Friday, June 7th from 8:30 to 1:30 at the Palms Hotel. We're going to be in the Grand Ballroom, which is just around the corner and up onto the second floor from the Pearl Theater, where we're going to be most of the event. I look forward to meeting all of you. I look forward to working with all of you and helping you totally transform your business in the coming 12 months. See you all there.